Alright, we're here at the Middletown train station, which has a good-sized parking lot. I saw a train earlier on my way here headed south, so people have already got on the train this morning on a Saturday in mid-August. I think it's like August 13th. I'll just park here and we'll get out and take a look. We're in a stretch of beautiful weather right now, so it's kind of a nice crisp morning. Gonna warm up into the 80s. It's a simple side level platform, low level, long. It's got a handicapped accessible mini platform down there at the southern end or eastern end. Get out of the sun here. And like all the stations on the West-of-Hudson Line, it's in great shape. Pretty quick to get the lay of the land here at Middletown, which is actually, when I Googled it on my phone, it said it was in Scotchtown, which is just northeast of Middletown. So I think there was a station on another line that was closer into town. All right, that's Middletown. And just to show you where we are on the map, and they never show the West-of-Hudson Line. They show the stations, but they don't show the line. But anyway, this is the West-of-Hudson Line, and here we are at Middletown in the town of Wallkill, and we're actually in Scotchtown. Next stop, Otisville. Could this be the old station here in Middletown? Let me check this out. This must be the old station here in Middletown. Wow, what a station. I'll walk around from the other side. It's in total disrepair. It's got one of those red X's on it, unfortunately, which I think means it's going to be, or it's condemned. Take a look around here. There's the old canopy. Breeze has really picked up, so I put the wind slayer on my camera. You got a tree growing out of the gutter there. Here's some of the houses across the street. We're finally in the old part of Middletown. I went through a lot of ordinary looking strip mall type development. Here we are, look at this. Big arches and everything, probably built in the 1890s, early 1890s. I'll try to find out some background on it. You almost wonder whether these two stories were built after the original station. Maybe not. Maybe it was all at one time. It's just huge. And this is where the roof is gone. Looks like a medieval castle. Talk about an overgrown ruins. This is so interesting. I want to cover every angle for it. restaurant supply open to the public. I wonder what that used to be. It looks almost Art Deco. And looking back into the sun, these tracks are still active. Used for freight. Down there, underneath the old canopy. Here's the track. Looking, I'm guessing west. Or maybe east. I'll walk along the track here as long as the train doesn't decide to show up. Wow. I wonder when this was last in operation. I'll look that up too. What could this possibly be used for? Reused for? Sure, Metro-North doesn't want to fix this up and reestablish this part of the line. You can get an idea of the scale just by how long it's taking me to walk the length of the station. So many beautiful arches, so much work was put into this. Now it looks like it hasn't been used in 100 years, but I'll bet you it was much more recent than that it stopped being used. But boy, did deterioration ever happen after that. The old Middletown train station. I can't tell you what O and W means, O and W station. Even had a round window there at the end. We'll just go the complete 360 here. Show you a little of Middletown. I've just come into the older part of it, so I'm kind of still figuring this town out. Middletown, the old station. This is up the hill from the old train station. I just saw this street as I was driving by, and I thought I'd come back up this block just to check it out. All the houses are the same size. Alright, let me see if I can find the downtown. This is a broader street with bigger homes here. I think I saw a sign to the library down this way, so maybe this is towards the downtown. Big, huge mansion here to the left. It's now a funeral home, and then there's all these Victorians lined up along a row. Wow. There's another beautiful home. I think there was a hospital in between. More big homes. Here, let me just pull over here. So we're on Highland Avenue. A lot of beautiful old homes on Highland Avenue. Modern church. Castle-like building. What is this? Middletown definitely has its moments here. What does this say? Can't tell. Have to look that one up. More interesting Victorians. Looking down the street, there's the downtown over there. Alright, well, check it out. Nice big old Victorians everywhere you look. Some real beauties here in Middletown. Alright, now let's drive down into the downtown. We have a farmer's market going on there. I'll bet you there's another train station here. Let's see. A bicycle store. St. Paul's Methodist. Holy Dog? Holly Dog? I think I saw another old train station looking building over here. We'll take a look. A lot to look at in the old part of Middletown. I'm glad I discovered it. Really interesting. The telephone poles going right down the middle of the downtown. You don't see that very often. Alright, let me make a left. Oh, looks interesting. Fortunately, there's nobody right behind me, so I can drive down slowly. It is 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Man, I had no idea at the size of this town. It just goes on and on. It's like a historic district. Now, this is what I think is an old train station over here. We'll take a look. Yes, it looks so much like one, but I don't see any tracks downtown. Erie Railroad has to be then. Alright, we'll get out and take a closer look. Some older buildings all by themselves here. Their neighbors didn't make it, and they're just barely holding on. What a great looking old church. Greater Upper Room Apostolic Faith Church. I don't know what the meaning of upper room is. Alright, let's get back to that train station. So there's a used bookstore here. And the Thrall Library is in the old train station. Get a historic sign over here. Let's go take a look at that. There's a senior citizen home near here. I didn't film it, but it's something at Erie Station. Erie Railroad Station. First station used 1843 to 1896. This building, Romanesque style, built 1896. George Archer, architect. Served passengers through 1983. And there's no tracks here anymore. So I don't know the decision making that went behind the station and this line being decommissioned in the early 1980s in favor of the more northern route that runs parallel to this line. So in a previous video I showed the old train stations in Goshen and Chester that were on this line, and they're nice stations too. So Metro-North gave up on the old stations that were in the downtowns in favor of outlying stations where people have to drive to the station. But this is, what a powerhouse, what a Romanesque beauty. Erie Railroad. Some really great architecture here in Middletown. And it's a good sized town. I was starting to think it wasn't as big a thing until I discovered the historic downtown. And it's another one of these cases where I just can't take my eyes off the station. Beautiful. And I'll try to find out more about the history. Anything I can add, I'll put on the screen. Just beautiful. And I can't even tell you where the tracks used to be. But if I had to take a guess, it might have been down this way, because this is like a park setting with a skateboard park now. So let's say the tracks came down this way, and maybe this building I'm looking at right now is a newer addition that is keeping in the same style as the original train station over there to the right. So maybe it was built after 1983. All right. Middletown. So I'll have to come up with a way to name these two stations that I've seen in Middletown. Maybe I'd call this the Thrall Library Station or the Erie Railroad Station, but then I don't know what the other one is called, but we'll figure it out. Here in Middletown. Well, here we are at the smallest station I've seen on the West-of-Hudson Line. It has parking across the street. Very well done. Very little parking lot right here, right by the station, which is like a stop. It's got a bus shelter. that's it for protection. So it's New Jersey Transit's ticket vending machine that they use. Let's see, next train to Hoboken at 11:18. Let me check my phone to see what time it is. You also have to pay for parking here. $3.25 or $1.25. I think you could get your business done in the city or wherever you have to go in 16 hours, so should be able to do it for $1.25. So it's a straight shot east towards Middletown or Scotchtown or Wallkill, whatever you want to call that station. And then this is looking west and maybe south at this point. There's a tunnel there. I don't know if it's the tunnel. There's a mile-long tunnel that the train goes through to get to Port Jervis. So let me see if there's any chance we'll be here when a train comes. Might be a little ways off. Let's see. There's just another quick look at Otisville from across the road. And a quick look at where we are on the map. Way up here, Otisville. So then the tracks make a hard turn and go south down to Port Jervis, which is the end of the line, on the West-of-Hudson Line in Orange County. Now, there's some people waiting here to take the train inbound into Hoboken, or you can change at Secaucus to go into New York City. But this is really a far-flung place to catch a train. While I'm waiting for the train, I don't know if I can use any of the footage I shot, but it has some interesting land uses. Otisville, it has an overgrown old psychiatric hospital. Homes here, and then there's this old overgrown former psychiatric hospital. We're on Sanitorium Avenue just outside of Otisville, and there's a security police officer here, so I only show a little bit of this to you. I don't want to have them stop me for filming. Take a look quick. Sanatorium, where there was a police car with an officer guarding anybody who wants to go investigate the ruins of a 19th century era hospital complex. It's all overgrown. And then there are two prisons in town. Federal Correctional Institution. I've read a little bit about famous inmates that have stayed here. I don't know if it's back off the road where you can't see it from the highway here. And then there's also a state of New York correctional institution. So this is Jail Central, a state prison and a federal prison. And from what little reading I've done, a lot of the federal prisoners are people who've done like financial misdeeds. But if there's anybody famous that did some really bad regular crimes, I'll put that on the screen. But you can't film it. There's a sign that says you've got to turn around. They're up this road to where those penitentiaries are. It's a secure area. Your car will be subject to search if you proceed any further. go back. It's a secure area. Your car will be subject to search. I was just wondering if you're coming up from the city, let's say, to visit an imprisoned and incarcerated family member, and you take the train to Otisville, which might be why some people take the train out here. Then how do you get to the prisons? Do you get an Uber? Can Uber go into a secure area? That's a question. I know along the Hudson Line, it's famous for going right through the middle of the Sing Sing prison in Ossining, and I've seen people that were going, I haven't overheard them talking that they were going to visit somebody in the state prison there in Sing Sing. So just another use of public transportation to get to a place. So we'll film the train when it comes through this short tunnel here, just west or south of the station. Here's the tunnel, which I can focus in on with my telephoto on this camera, which does not have a wind slayer on it, so you'll be picking up the breeze. Tunnel to Port Jervis. Okay, I see a light at the end of the tunnel headed this way. I don't know how much of a grade this train is climbing, but it is coming up. It's coming from Port Jervis, which is the last stop on the line. So Otisville is the penultimate stop on the line if you're headed west, or the second station if you're headed east and south. So this train has come up from the south, going mostly north to get here to Otisville, and then it'll head east and then back down south. Well, I feel like it took a long time from when I first saw it to go through the tunnel, so maybe that is the mile-long tunnel between here and Port Jervis. When I was shooting it before with the telephoto, it didn't look that long because I could see to the other end. And I assume it's traveling at a decent rate of speed, although it is coming uphill, so that slows it down somewhat. Here she comes. Got a New Jersey Transit head car. So, how many cars can you board here? You can smell the bathroom car, unfortunately, from outside the train. I guess just one place. Everybody's got to come over here. I guess they got 2 doors to go through. So there's like 5 people getting on here. One couple decided not to get on the train. I don't know if there's another train headed west anytime soon, maybe. They just want to go to Port Jervis? I don't know. Mixture of Metro-North and New Jersey Transit cars in that train consist as it heads east now towards Middletown here at Otisville.